Hello, hello. My name is Marcellus Ruffin, and this is my demonstration for my Sprint 2 assignment, where I had to take a fellow classmate's mechanic and implement it into my project and turn it into my own. So, the mechanic I will be demonstrating is called the moving floors mechanic. It was originally designed by Alicia Boardman. So I want to give a thanks to her for coming up with this mechanic. And I changed it around just a bit so that way it could be able to work more suitable to my project. So let's go ahead and run it. And after we run it, then we will go and go through the blueprints and see how it's made. So for the first level, I wanted to use her mechanic to get the player familiar with how it works. So you basically take um, the um, the interactables, which is these screens, and you can be able to interact with them, and platforms will come up. So see, and it goes back down. If you go through, it will fall through and restart the level. So wanted to make this a simple and easy puzzle to solve for the player. So you go, you hit this one, and then you will hit this one again, and then come back over, do it, and now you be able to cross over. Now for the second level, I used my mechanic by itself, so that way you could be able to get used to the way how this one works as well. So you have these platforms right here that opens up the door that needs to be stepped on and held down in order for the door to stay open. So you will go and hit that to create a dead body of yourself and use that to move around to be able to open up. And as you can see, as I described in my last video, that the dead bodies do use up stamina as well. And also, the smashing takes stamina away as well. So as you can see, that takes stamina up. And also, one thing to note is that if you once you hit the limit, as you can see on the bottom left side, the replications limit of how many you can spawn. Once you are out of replications, you'll get this error code. And also, if you run out of stamina, so let's just run out of stamina, you'll get this error code. All right, now we'll go ahead and complete this. And then for the third level, I use both of our mechanics together. So you can, as you can see, my replication mechanic is in the center of the map, and we have to be able to use the moving floors in order to be able to reach it. So, all right, sorry about that. Hit the reset by accident. So we'll go over and interact, and it brings up tiles for us to be able to interact with. So you see that there's another with the door right here. So let's go ahead and do that. And we will move this all the way over. And then once we do, it says that you're trying too hard. Okay. And then we have another one to open up the next door. So we will interact with this console. And now it changed to where we can't be able to get across. So we come back to the first console, change it around, and now we could be able to cross over. So let's hit this one and get that door that's up top. Alright, so with this door open, now we could be able to come through here. And now it's telling us that there's an easy way to do this and that we have to think. So once you come back over, you see that there is another door to be opened. So let's go ahead and make another one. And now we are out of stamina, so we cannot complete this puzzle. So I intentionally did it like this to make the obvious way of doing it, not necessarily the right way. So we will reset, and what the actual way to complete this puzzle would be is actually coming over once we get the floors up, come over and interact with this console, and then come back to this console. Now that we could be able to cross over, just come over and move this and come into here, and that was the last one we needed. So it's actually, the puzzle is actually pretty simple, pretty easy. It's just I wanted to give a bad option for the player to take before figuring it out. And that is my showcase for the mechanics. So now let's go ahead and jump into the blueprints to see how they work. And so for the first blueprint, we have the entity lever. So when the on the event interact, we are calling is the animation finished, and this is used to so that way you cannot spam the animation for the fallen floors. It has to actually complete before you could be able to toggle it again. All right, and then we do the toggle lever event, which is right here. So I'll go through that code in a second. And then this right here is for the aesthetic of it. So we check if it is pressed, and if it is true, it'll set the material to the light color material, and then play the animation for the move lever, and then we set the animation to false. Is finished to false, and then if it is pressed is false, then we set the material back to the original material, reverse the animation, and when it's finished, it sets it back to true. So that way, it'll always resets itself back to true for here. Now for the toggle lever, sorry. So for the toggle lever, what we are doing, we're pressing if it is pressed. If it is not pressed, we set it to and that is what it will be set to. So from here, what we're doing is we're getting an array of the moving floors to be able to plug into the lever, and then for each one, we set by lever while calling if it is pressed. All right, and this is important for the way how this mechanic works to be able to affect multiple floors. So each lever has the ability to affect multiple floors. All right. So now for the moving floor, what we did here is on enter, we check to see if the floor is raised, and if it is raised, then it won't do nothing. It'll make an interval for us to be able to go through, so it won't do nothing. And if it's not raised, it'll create the pitfall. The so the player will fall through and die and restart the level. Now, for the play activation, we are calling is raised. We are checking to see if it is raised. And if it is true, if it is raised, then we update the relative location of the plane. And we use the plane start position and the plane end position, and we lerp it together to get the location. And if it's false, we do it in reverse. Now, for this, we check if the lever is on or off. And so how we are doing that is that we make this these two booleans instance editable as long as along with the is raised. So that's also instance editable as well to turn it make it interval, not interval. But for the is up when lever is on and is up when lever is off allows us to be able to customize when the floors are up and down depending on if it's on or off. And then for each one we call the play activation. So as you can see, the this is how we are able to do this. And then this right here is just the pitfall code that I got from the pit tile. So it's just copied the code over so that way it creates that pitfall effect. And so now since we got that and see how that works, what we could do is we could be able to go into here and we could be able to see. And then as you can see, these tiles right here are pit tiles. I mean, not the pit tiles, but are moving floor tiles. And as you can see in the details panel, since we have them uh, um, instance editable, we could be able to check and be able to customize the pattern however we want to. So as you can see that is up when lever is on is true. So that means that once the lever turns on, this actually comes up, right? And then we have this one, like some of these that's over here, right? That is up when lever is on is tick to false, and is up when lever is off tick to true. So this reverses it so that way when the lever is off, it'll come up, and when it's on, it'll go down. Now you could also double click on these like this so that way it is both false, and if it's both false then that means that it'll stay down no matter if it's on or off. And if you click both of them to true, they'll both it'll stay up no matter if it's on or off. And that is how that works. And then for the lever, let me reset that one back. So that was right there. All right. And now for the lever, what we're doing here is we have our array. So we could see and we could add however many tiles we want into the array for this, for it to be able to affect those specific tiles. So as you can see, like if I got top floor 1, this is floor 7. All of these first ones are connected to to this lever. The entire middle is connected to this one, as you can see right here. So we have D6, which is D6 right here. And doing this, we are able to customize the pattern however we see fit to be able to create the patterns and the puzzles that we want. So that is it for this mechanic for this showcase. I appreciate the time, and I hope everyone is doing good.